and welcome to episode 3 of the Menopause Unplugged podcast. I am delighted today to be joined by my amazing guest, Larissa, all the way from Australia. How you doing, Larissa? Are you okay?
Good, love. Thank you. How are you?
Great. I'm better, thank you. I had been struggling with a chest infection over the last couple of weeks, but getting there. So
Oh, bugger.
I sound less choked
That's
up.
good. You better.
Yes,
Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah. Well, I
absolutely.
started out with a hot flush, so I thought that was very appropriate.
Ah. If you need a minute, you just let me know. So, at what stage of the menopause are you in at the moment then?
I'm on my 4th round of not having a period now for about 7 months. Unfortunately, I went 3 other years in a row where I went about 10 months not having them, and then they restarted.
Oh, I see. So quite an infrequent.
Yeah.
So we would class that as perimenopause.
Yeah, they call it menopausal actually by the blood tests. Because the periods, this is the 4th year that mainly I haven't, they've been more stopped
Mm,
than having one, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
So I've only had a couple of periods for the last 4 years, each year, probably in about 2 or 3 periods each year. But it's just enough to not call it menopause complete, post-menopause
yeah,
anyway. Because
postmenopause.
that's, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's then rewind your story a little bit. When did you know
Yeah.
your your menopausal symptoms kicking in then? At what point?
Yeah, I felt they started around 36 to 38.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting like hot flushes, feeling during my ovulation process, I was like having a lot of days of just feeling so nauseated. I could barely work, and strange headaches. My asthma really flared up a lot in these times as well. Severe fatigue, and my immune system was shot to pieces. I kept catching every cold. I also had a stroke at 38, which we don't really know what caused that, but I was also having panic attacks as well. I hadn't had them for decades, and they just started back up.
Oh my. So did I take it you didn't have anything underlying, like medically going on?
No, they couldn't find anything.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And then there's
they
no,
did a brain scan. Oh, sorry, go on.
sorry, I was going to say, was there not, there's no history of strokes or anything like that in your family then?
There actually is. My grandfather did die from a stroke, just due to high blood pressure. And actually, my blood pressure was quite high at the time because believe it or not, I had this 3-year stalker, which wasn't helping things. So, if anything, it may have just been the blood pressure, but combined with all the hormonal symptoms I was having, it was not an easy time at
No,
all. It hit very hard. Yeah.
my goodness. Okay. So what symptoms then? You're saying you don't get hot flushes, but what other symptoms do you suffer from, or have you suffered from?
As in now, or
Yeah, just
do you mean as in now? Yeah, the symptoms, the main symptoms I have now is the hot flushes. I sometimes have like days where I'm shaky. I get like the shakes, so it feels like anxiety, but I'm not anxious, which is really weird.
mhm,
But I remember a friend of mine who went through menopause before me. It's almost like notebook, textbook symptoms. What she had that I've had. But yeah, the hot flushes. As soon as I want to sleep, I might get a couple during the day, but during the night time, I'll just get them one after another, and it's just so hard to sleep. I don't know what it is. As soon as my body lays down, it just hot flushes just keep coming. And then the weird headaches. I have terrible sleep. I'm always waking up. I've got the fan running 24/7.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm drinking water a lot in my sleep as well. I normally go through a full water bottle, like a litre water bottle through my sleep.
Mhm. And then obviously that will cause quite disturbances because you're then getting up to go to the toilet, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's the other bugger of it. Yeah.
Not ideal. So,
No, not at all.
so with obviously going through menopause quite early on, your late 30s. What did you
Yeah.
go and seek medical advice?
I did ask doctors, and they just scoffed at the idea, and it was quite bizarre because it was a lady doctor that I was speaking to, and she was near 60. So obviously, she more than likely had gone through the whole process
Sure.
and just sort of wrote it off as, oh, no, no, no. Did you read about that somewhere? Did you? And I said, oh, yeah, I did. And I said, but it's not so much that, it's more what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, no, no, they're not menopausal symptoms at all. Nothing to do with hormones, she said, nothing.
Oh, so she was just quite dismissive then.
Very dismissive. Any doctor I've ever spoken to this day,
Mm-hmm.
even a female, I had a comment only a couple of days ago, and she turned around and said to me, oh, is that what you've read on the internet, have you? And I said, yes. And she said, oh, yeah, no, none of that's true.
Goodness. So
And that was a female doctor.
yeah. So to this date, then, have you not had any sort of medical support then from any doctor?
No, none. Not from Western. No. I've only gone holistic and naturopaths. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
what?
just they all scoffed at the idea. They did a blood test to say that, oh yes, you're in perimenopause, but then see you later. Go away and deal with it. Um, I couldn't have HRT because I did have cervical cancer when I was 19,
I see.
so there was a risk. Yeah, and because of that stroke I had, they said they can't put me on anything. There's nothing they can do for me medically.
Okay. Okay. So at least they considered HRT, hormone replacement therapy,
Yeah,
but yeah, like,
yeah,
because of your history and so on, it's not an option.
yeah. No, no.
So let's talk a little bit more
Right.
about the alternative therapies route then that you're going down. What have you explored then at the moment?
Well, my first one was, to go see a naturopath,
Mhm,
and she gave me these Chinese liquid herbs,
mhm.
berry and shatavari, and they worked very well for like a good 10 years. Yeah, I took it for a long time, but then for some reason, by the time I come to getting towards the 10th year, just, I don't know, something just, I just stopped working for me. I can't even explain it, to be honest. I don't know why it is. I don't know. Yeah, I'll never know what that was, but I had to stop taking it
Yeah.
because I was actually having these acne breakouts, like on my face, like full on. I'd wake up with 100 pimples
Oh,
just overnight, under my chin, around my face. It was just like, what? I did go through a weird stage in my mid-20s where I had severe pimples. Yeah, I never had them as a teenager,
yeah.
never had them. So I was just having a lot of times having this problem with acne just come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Um, and I felt it was hormonal, because
Yeah.
I ate pretty healthy. I wasn't, like a binge chocolate eater or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm. So did you see a
So
dermatologist?
also, sorry, love?
Sorry, I was saying, did you see a dermatologist at all for your acne?
No, no, I was never sent to one. I
Okay.
didn't even really think about it because I knew it was hormones. So I just sort of dealt with it in that way. I did actually try that proactive too. That actually
Okay.
worked very well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard they've got quite good active ingredients in there for tackling acne, actually. Quite popular.
Yeah, no, it worked brilliant.
Excellent. So I take it that's all subsided now. You don't have those issues anymore.
Well, see, it's funny you should say that. It's only just been recently. So when I started taking I bought my last bottle of the Shatavari,
Yeah.
Chasterberry. It made me have this outbreak of pimples, and I immediately stopped the bottles. I thought, okay, something's not working now.
Mhm.
So I figured probably maybe at a different hormonal situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had to stop taking it and go back to using a pimple regime again. I hadn't used one for like 10, 12 years.
Mhm.
I hadn't had any problem with this sort of acne problem coming out, and now it's just come back with a vengeance. So I was like, okay. So now I'm dealing with that again now,
Yeah.
but I just used like a basic pimple, what do you call like when you put exfoliator, pimple exfoliator,
Yeah.
and then just putting that Benzac cream over the top. Yeah, where I'd get the outbreaks,
Yeah.
and it's, as you can see, my face at the moment is pretty good. Like it's not too bad.
No, yeah, your skin looks great to me.
Oh.
It's really helpful. Yeah, absolutely. So, so did I take it because the shift obviously in your hormones? Have you gone back to your natural to to see what else that they can assist?
Yeah, I've gone to an acupuncturist, naturopath.
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing some acupuncture, so that's helped as well.
Okay.
And also she's given me some herbs. We've tried a few different things, like they say you're classed as yin deficient when you're in your menopausal, because you're the hot flushes. It's like the cauldron's empty and the flame's hot. You know what I mean? Your body's running like that. So they call that yin deficient. So we tried some of those tablets. I seem to have a lot of food intolerances, and I have allergies. So I have a bit of trouble with, medications and natural stuff because I have allergies. So unfortunately, some of those products didn't work for me. It actually gave me really bad headaches. But it worked for the while I was taking it. I did try Fem Plus. That's another one. It got rid of the belly fat really well. But for some reason, as soon as I went up to 2 tablets, I started getting these hideous headaches and I had to get off it. And then even when I tried to start it back on 1 tablet, the hideous headache started again. So I was like, oh, can't take it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really upset about that because that sort of really worked for me, taking that 1 tablet a day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But also dietary. I've learned a lot about diet and how foods can heal, and eat your plant photo as they call them, phytoestrogens, I think it is.
Phytoestrogens, yes.
Uh,
Your soy-based
yeah,
products.
yeah. See, I'm allergic to soy, so I can't take soy. But I have to eat, a lot of leafy greens, a lot of salads, and eat healthy fish, salmon, tuna. Eat a lot of. My diet's very healthy.
That's amazing. Yeah,
How I gain weight, I don't
yeah.
know. Sorry, that.
It goes a such a long way, diet, in helping you with your menopausal symptoms and your health
Yeah,
overall. At the end of the day, these are nutrients that our body is screaming out for. So, not
that's right.
to
Yeah,
stress that.
I think what's hard as well. I mean, as you get older, you find out all these other little underlying health problems. They seem to rear up in
Mhm.
this menopausal stage.
Yeah.
Because I've been told I've got a couple of autoimmune disorders now, fibro, trigeminal neuralgia, as I've had shingles a few times, or chickenpox, and all these things. They seem to it all flares up. During this menopausal, like since 38 to now, I've just had one health problem after another, and it's just been awful. And I think for a lot of women who suffer a lot of different, I've also got a gene mutation. They call it the mother-father gene
Right.
as well, which means my body doesn't detox at 100%.
Okay.
So, because I'm a very investigative type person, I don't just, I'll ask the why all the time. I'm that type of person. So I've dug deep and found out all these other things that would be going on with me. And it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of women have the same problems, but I really strongly feel it's just the hormones doing it. And I believe once this stage passes for me, it'll all quieten down. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yes. No, but yes, our hormones have so many, such a big part to play in all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's that daily struggle. It's hour to hour, really, as most people would know, when you're going through this.
Yeah.
My dog's just disappeared up to my lounge. Demon, come up here. He's a rescue husky. He came with his name, and he's not a demon, but he's beautiful. He's a good boy. Mummy caught you. Sorry about that.
Right. Um, so aside from the diet changes then, when we're talking about general lifestyle, what about exercise? Have you been able to be active?
Yeah, I make sure walking is my main exercise, is walking. Always keep the body moving. I have sort of in the last 2 years been doing a bit of, yoga and just doing more stretching.
Yeah.
When you're bringing up children, I had 4 girls of my own, so you don't have much time for yourself. But I always used to walk because I take the kids to the park, and I would do the exercise that way. But when the kids are getting older and you're still dealing with everything with the kids, and you forget about yourself, you know what I mean? I didn't realize how important stretching was and how much that has helped me, especially with pain and inflammation,
Mm,
and my lower back problem, which comes from having 4 babies. Uh, it just feels like when you go through menopause, everything's just all loose and not, you need to really make sure that you're exercising regularly. It has to be at least 5 times a week.
yeah,
Um, because otherwise it won't have an impact. You won't get the effect. But
absolutely.
I do weights as well. I do light weights and I go to the gym. I swim regularly as well.
Amazing. Yeah, great regime that you've got, Larissa.
Yeah.
Is
Thanks, hon. It's hard though. Like it's not easy. Do you know what I mean? Some days I'm that tired. I can barely drive myself to the gym, but I still push myself to do it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
If I'm that tired, I'll just walk in the pool. I'll just walk. I won't push myself. Do you know what I mean? But it's to me, I find exercise has always been like my antidepressant.
Hmm.
So in this time of menopause, it's been even more so. But the awful thing is you're so tired, because you're not sleeping
Yeah,
and you just have no energy. It's awful, absolutely awful.
yeah.
But taking vitamin Bs, taking magnesium, they're the biggies that have definitely had a good effect just as a vitamin coming from a vitamin side of things.
Hmm. No, absolutely. I think it's key that even when you don't have the energy, that you're still pushing that habit and you're still showing up. And even if you're like you said,
Yeah,
if you're just having a walk in the pool rather than doing a full, however many lengths, it's still reinforcing
yeah,
that habit and keeping that
that's
going.
right.
And so you're not falling off the wagon, which, as a personal trainer, is something that I advocate a lot. Just go and reinforce.
Yeah,
And even if it's just 10 minutes walking on a treadmill,
exactly.
it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. I know. I've been a strong believer in that. My daughter's actually a PT as well, but it's that saying. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, and it's just as basic as that. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So obviously you're at a point now where everything's kind of under control as much as it can be. When you
Yeah.
when you were going through like the sort of rough patches of your menopausal journey, how was
Yeah.
your personal relationship affected?
Unfortunately, through the two larger relationships I had in between these time periods were quite toxic. The partners were both narcissistic and controlling, so it didn't do me well at all because I'm a very confrontational person.
Hmm.
So I'm not afraid. It's not that I'm not afraid. I'll always speak my truth. Nothing holds me back. Do you know what I mean? So unfortunately, the relationships become quite, argumentative and volatile
Yeah.
because I won't take a man's shit. To be honest, just
Yeah.
sorry to say that, but if they're just going to be outright just being toxic, well, sometimes I just know how to give it back. But what I didn't realise, that wasn't doing me any favours.
No.
I was getting angry, worked up. My cortisol levels were gone through the roof. Especially the last relationship I had, I put on so much belly fat, and that is
Mhm.
definitely from cortisol, from all the stress, because I've lost weight since not dating him now, and just feeling generally calmer every day without having to be in fight and flight all the time, and dealing with menopause.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was just way too much. And when I look back now, I just think, yeah, no, I didn't have a good run with any of my relationships, to be honest, because I didn't have the best childhood. So I had a lot of abuse in my childhood. So unfortunately, I was still attracting the wrong type of partners.
Hmm.
So yeah, even through all my pregnancies, my kids' my children's father, he was bashing me. It was a terrible time. Like I've never experienced any time with all these hormonal changes. To be honest, until actually now that I'm single.
Hmm.
My last daughter just moved out last week, so I've got the house to myself. So it's wonderful.
Yes. Time to concentrate a little bit more on you now, isn't it? Time for that.
Yeah, yeah. And knowing once you've cleaned the house, it's
Mm.
actually going to stay clean. I don't have to go out and re-clean it again.
And the dogs, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole purpose of this podcast is to share real women's experience of the menopause, because more than likely someone's going to say, "Oh, I listened to that episode, and I recognize those symptoms, or my mum went through those symptoms, or I'm going through
Yeah.
symptoms, and it's that there is a way through this. But if you
Yeah. I think, and I will just say, just before I forget, is when I went onto the sugar-free, dairy-free diet,
uh
that did the best thing for me ever. Sugar and dairy have got to go. It's no good.
yeah,
No good at all. I mean, minimal, you could get your carbs and sugar from carrots and beans and from veggies and stuff like that. But the sugar-free, dairy-free diet is the best. And eating lots of celery. Celery's like nature's, healing vegetable.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, you said as well that you've suffered quite a lot with allergy things. So do you think
Yeah.
going dairy free and sugar free has obviously helped all of that as well?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Absolutely.
Great. So is there anything that you wish you had known before entering the menopause that you would like to share just now with us, with the listener?
Yes, the main thing that I wish I'd known was the rate of muscle loss that you have going from
Yeah.
40s to your 50s. I had no idea it would be that rapid. I mean, I used to work out when I was younger. Always had my home gym at home. Always worked out. Had a great tone. It wasn't like bodybuilding, nothing like that, but just tone. Nice
Mhm.
butt, nice. Everything's nice and tight. But in that last 8 years and being in that toxic relationship, my muscle mass has just disappeared. I'm soft, I'm flabby, and it's like, oh my God, it drives me nuts. If I did stop for a while there because I was getting vertigo. I mean, I had other problems. I had a couple of car accidents, a couple of falls at work. So I had
Yeah.
other things going on, which I had to stop exercising. But the rate of muscle loss is hideous. I say to anyone, if you're in your 30s, late 30s now, and you haven't started a gym, start
Yeah.
gymming now. And it's great for, bone loss. It'll stop all that. It's great for so much just doing lightweight. So even if it's just circuit training,
Mhm.
and stick to it 5 days a week. Even if you do 3 days a week, that's still good. It'll stop that muscle mass loss. It was, yeah, quite an eye opener for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. High protein intake and some sort of resistance
Yeah.
training is key. So just
Yeah. And the thing is, I couldn't take protein shakes because they gave me vertigo. So not
oh
everybody can take the protein shakes. So I've had to take digestive enzymes because I found out in this last couple of years too that my body doesn't like to digest protein. And we age, it is harder for our stomachs to digest protein anyway. So I have to take these things called digestive enzymes before I have a meal because I need to at least eat 15 to 25 grams of protein per meal.
yeah.
Otherwise, my body won't even digest it. It'll just go straight through me.
Oh
So,
my.
yeah, another little thing I had to learn.
Mhm. Yeah, this is it. And this is all things that you find out, isn't it, as you're going, you know, as you're trying new
Yeah,
things.
going through it. Yeah,
Absolutely. So
absolutely.
what are is there any other advice that you would give to women?
I think definitely another word of advice too is to, you know, keep up with your friends, because that whole idea of, like exactly what you said, sharing each other's story, talking to each other about it is just helpful, just doing that.
Yeah.
It's a very anxious, stage that we go through. There's a lot of, we don't know what's going on with the body. I felt, very freaked out of some of these symptoms when they all started happening. But
Mm,
if we all talk with each other, I think that's really good, and at least the 3 days a week exercise is good for your mental health. And I drink lots of water. You've got to drink lots of water because your body's on fire from the hot flushes. So you need lots of rehydration. And I also drink coconut water. It's a great, sort of cellular rehydration.
mhm.
Or you can put Himalayan salt in your water bottle, and it helps raise the pH, which is good for
Yeah,
our body as well. So yeah, my general journey's always been about dehydration. I'm just one of those people. I just run hot.
100%. And I was actually just talking about this yesterday. that people complain when they start upping their hydration about, oh, I need to run to the toilet every 2 minutes. But, our body is
Yeah,
able to self-regulate, and it's only affecting you for a short period of time. Then your body
that's
will,
right. Yeah,
adjust basically and start working
yeah.
efficiently once you rehydrate it properly. So yeah, absolutely. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's true. I've had blood tests done just to make sure everything's going, excuse me, fine. And I've just had some recent tests just done the other day, and everything's looking really good. My homocysteines 4, we checked for ceruloplasmin and all this stuff that I'm learning from the naturopath. Everything's starting to look a lot better now. So I'm really happy about that. But, it's very important to get those blood tests done for that reassurance.
mhm.
Because like I said, a lot's going on, and we need to know, we're not going crazy. This is really happening, and there's actually, we can help ourselves. I mean, like I said, I couldn't do much medical, but I had to do all the, like you said, keep up the exercise, drink the water, do all the healthy stuff, and it's, the common sense, I suppose, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. And like you said, things that we should be doing right through our, 20s, 30s onwards anyway,
Yes.
for optimal.
Yes.
Lovely. Well, it's been amazing speaking to you. It's been a real joy to have you on
Mhm.
sharing your experience. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And just to remind all the listeners that there is a new episode of the Menopause Unplugged podcast out every Friday. So make sure that you are tuning in. But for now, it's bye from me and bye from Larissa.
No worries. I'll see you later, love.